Miss Barker, it's me, Kaylyn. I wanted to say thank you for showing me how truly dedicated someone can be to their craft. Whether that's through spending hours on end burning foam or electrocuting yourself by fixing the lights. You showed me how to follow my passions, even if there are a few bumps in the road. Now, whether the bumps in my life are hard assignments or a lack of motivation, or even running out of mops to hot glue onto a dog puppet, you showed me how to buckle down and follow through, even through life's hardships. I will remember you through every hot glue burn, every needle prick, and every squirrely kid that comes through my future classrooms. Hopefully, fingers crossed, right? Because at the end of the day, theater magic isn't a disappearing cake or a magical chalkboard. It's you, a hardworking teacher who's dedicated to educate students on theater arts. And I wanted to say thank you for making my senior year very special.
My name is Pedro Montes, and the teacher I chose to honor is Mr. Clemens. The first day that I met him, he sat down and he gave me so much advice about a lot of things, and he took the time to answer all the questions that I was needing answers for. He also made a checklist for me for certain things that he wanted me to get done, and he told me to come back every single month to check up on my progress. With that, he's the reason that I got my first job and I opened my first savings account, and I strongly believe that I couldn't have done that without the amount of support and the amount of patience that he had for me throughout my senior year. But he also strengthened the amount of dedication and motive that I have for myself to chase after anything that I put my mind to. And I really just appreciate everything he has done for me and taking the time to talk to me about anything. But most importantly, I will never regret walking into his office, because I'm very fortunate that I have had someone like him give me the amount of knowledge and advice to guide me where I need to be before I go off to college.
Ms. Bonner, you have impacted my life in such a positive way. I was an overly energized kid in middle school who thought that making jokes about falling off cliffs was quality comedy. It was hard for me to make friends, and I was an outcast a lot of the time, but you were always there for me. You had a lot of patience and tolerance for me, which I appreciate a lot now. I was a very immature kid who did a lot of dumb things, but I don't regret them, because every now and then when I think back to it, it gives me a good laugh, and it led me to where I am now. Surrounded by friends who accepted me for who I was then and now. I've grown a lot now, mind and size of course, and I still do dumb things every now and then, but I'm definitely a better person now than I was in junior high. I will always have a special spot for you in my heart, Ms. Bonner, because even when the whole class was just in silence after one of my jokes, you would burst out laughing like it was the funniest original joke you had ever heard. I hope you're doing good, and your family's doing good, and I hope you have a great summer and a good life. Thank you.
Ms. Mack, the impact you've had on me these last few years has been huge. You have affected and changed me in many ways. It's hard to single out a few. Under your influence, I have become not only a kinder and more caring person, but I've also grown more confident in myself. Great teachers have an inspiring and positive impact on children's lives, and they achieve this by being caring, empathetic, passionate, and funny. Ms. Mack, these are all great qualities that you have. You teach with a passion, and you care for your students the way you'd want your own children cared for. You are a blessing not only to me, but to all of your students as well. Thank you for believing in me, encouraging me, and most importantly, loving me.
Hi, this is Kate Hawkins. I'm not really sure if I'm supposed to introduce myself, but I did it anyway. Anyway, Miss Hartley, I really enjoyed being in your class this year. I know that I've never been really great at science, never really been interested in it, and it's not an opinion, it is definitely a statement of fact, but I always really enjoyed the content that we were learning in your class because you made it so much easier for me at least to understand by using stuff like puns or using humor, or using like videos like the Amoeba Sisters. And you're definitely an Amoeba Sister secretly, but whatever, that's not the point. But thank you for actually encouraging me to like science and to understand it more. I really appreciate that.
I would like to honor Mr. Alberts. You have been plenty of things throughout the 4 years of being my band director. You've been a leader, an educator, a therapist, a goofball, and an inspiration. You've taught me to stand out from the crowd and be confident in myself, even when nobody else is. From dealing with my unusual crazy energy at 6 a.m. every day to comforting me when I'm stressed about school or life in general. You have always been there. You've been there for my highest highs and my lowest lows. You've been an amazing role model for not only me, but to other students. You're an amazing teacher, and I wanted to thank you for sticking it out through not only my final moments of Kaufman High School, but for yours as well. Now that we're both continuing on, I wanted to let you know that I will always carry out the lessons you have taught me. I hope that you would never lose the inspiration of teaching others.
Sorry I don't have my cap and gown and all that, but it's getting pressed. But I wanted to honor Coach Maly because, well, my freshman year wasn't probably the easiest thing ever, but you know, Coach, you helped me through my freshman year a lot because I was going through some tough times, and every fist bump throughout the day, you know, or helping me out in geometry class, it always helped, always boosted me throughout the year and all that. And I think that really helped set a standard for my high school career. And well, now I'm at a point where I'm going to college, and well, I just wanted to thank you for helping me out through the beginning part and well, for every day after that. So thanks, Coach Maly.
I'd like to celebrate Miss King as my theater teacher, my director. She took such an amazing chance on me and allowed me to be a part of an incredible theater company that excels in so many ways, and it's just an amazing thing to be in. She really took a chance on me my junior year, allowing me to be in the theater company whenever she didn't even know me based off of one audition. And an even bigger leap of faith, allowing me to be the lead in the fall musical Matilda. And she just has pushed me in ways that isn't only just acting. She probably doesn't know this, but before I didn't really talk much. I wasn't outgoing, I didn't express myself. But because of her direction and because of her allowance into the theater company, I've been able to express my emotions on stage and off, and she's made me into a better person, even if she didn't know it. And I really like to recognize the one-act play that we all created under her and Miss Barker's guidance this year. It only got to go to district because of everything going on, but we were district champions because of them, and it was my favorite thing to be in. It was such a beautiful show with a beautiful story, and I'm really going to miss theater. I'm going into a different path in life, not in the arts, but it'll always hold a very special place in my heart because of her. Thank you, Miss King.
My name is Abbey Gunter, and I will be honoring Mr. White. Mr. White has taught me so much within the world of AP World History and in the real world. He's taught me that having fun in a classroom is a necessity, and that if you're determined, you'll do big things. He's impacted my overall success through high school, and being in his class brought me so much joy, and I was so sad to have left it. But the lessons he's taught and memories made will last forever. Thank you for challenging me every single day to love history and to be the best I can be. I will always remember when you let me rap about Galileo, and I will never forget how you made jokes that only the Star Wars fans could understand. It was an honor being one of your students. Mr. White, you're one of the reasons I excelled in school. I was taught by one of the best.
Hey, Miss Maly. I just want to start off by saying thank you. Thank you for having the most impact on me. Thank you for setting the example as to how an awesome teacher should be. You were the best teacher. I can still remember the leadership class that you offered. I was so scared. I had no clue what was going on at the beginning 8th grade year. But you were so welcoming. The leadership class that you offered made me want to be a better person. In general, I wanted to become a better sibling, better daughter, better student. In general, just a better person in society. You were always there to lend an open ear or just listen to us whenever we needed to talk to someone. Very grateful for that. I will forever be eternally grateful for you. Thank you for putting us first, your students, holding every single one of us accountable for our actions, for overall loving us. I will forever be grateful that God decided to put me in the path to where I met you. And I'm very grateful for you, Miss Maly. So thank you for having the best impact on me and making me want to become a better person. Thank you, Miss Maly.
Hi, my name is Hailey Lisenbee, and today I would like to recognize and honor someone who has been there for me no matter what. For my Inspiration Award, I chose Miss Hetmer because she has always believed in me. For the past 3 years, I have had the privilege of being a part of her cheer squad. She has never failed to give me encouragement and advice when I needed it, and I always knew that I could come to her or count on her for anything. She inspired me just by being the way that she was, so loving, kind, generous, and forgiving. I admire the way she treats her students and loves each one as her own. She would do anything for any of us. Even in the classroom or in practice, we never knew when she was having a bad day or something was going on in her life, because she was so positive and nice all the time, no matter what. Miss Hetmer truly played a huge role in my high school experience. And I'm so fortunate to have had her as my cheer coach and my teacher. So lastly, Miss Hetmer, I would like to thank you for your endless time and dedication to your students and for being such a great mentor to me. I truly appreciate you.
My name is Tiffany Zavala. The teacher that I choose to acknowledge is my teacher, Miss Darnell, who was my accounting 2 teacher my junior year of high school and the URL accounting course. She's one of the most positive teachers out there in Kaufman High School. A positive teacher makes an impact in a student's life. It builds their confidence. I would like to thank you, Miss Darnell, for dealing with me for 2 years now. Before the shelter in place order, I would always look up to see what the stats were in the U.S. One day, we asked the estimator to see how many of the Kaufman Lions would be affected, and turns out it was 6%. Hopefully, we haven't. We said 0.01%. Before spring break, she told her class not to worry about her, for if she gets COVID-19, she'll be with her son in the heavenly casino. We are not ready for you to leave. Let's think of all of those students who won't be able to get your positivity. What's a word? Where would this word be if we didn't have a great accounting teacher to teach the future accountants? And also that one student that will one day beat you in your game of dominoes. Until then, I have your next card.
I'm Paul Bradis at Shelton, and I've been asked to make a video honoring a single teacher. And I'd just like to start off by making it clear that there are a lot of teachers that deserve recognition up at Kaufman High School. A lot of teachers and faculty members have put a lot of effort into helping me graduate, helping me get accepted into college, teaching the material, and making me the person I am today. However, I think the teacher that deserves recognition today is Miss Montez. Firstly, because she's done a lot to not just teach me the material, but give me intrinsic motivation to learn the material on my own. Teaching any material with only a few hours a week is extremely difficult for teachers. However, giving the students the motivation to learn on their own, I feel that that is their job as a successful teacher, because otherwise the student will never fully understand the material without their own motivation. Another big thing Miss Montez did for me this year is she allowed me to come into a room, sit down, and just talk to her. That would mean a lot to me, especially on my more stressed out days, to just go in there and talk to an adult that would actually listen and provide their own input as well. She's not the only teacher that did that. However, she's the one this year that deserves recognition because of how often she did that. It was almost a daily thing where she would allow me to go into her room, sit down, and talk to her, and just talk about what's going on in my life. And not only that, but she would provide her own input, and I think that meant a lot to have that dialogue, and I think it helped me get through a lot of tough times this past 2 semesters. So because she gave me intrinsic motivation and did a fantastic job teaching the material, and because she was willing to sit down and have those conversations with me, I'd like to thank Miss Montes for all she did for me this year. Thank you.
For this top 10 banquet, I'd like to show my honor and appreciation for my animation teacher, Ms. Merritt. For the past 2 years, I've had the wonderful opportunity to take her class, and I always looked forward with excitement. I've had the wonderful opportunity to create the friends that I have today because of the warm, caring, comfortable environment that she had in her classroom. She was a teacher that I always respected, and I was able to talk to her like she was my friend. I would always admire the overwhelming patience she had with each one of us. Our personalities ranged from quiet and timid to loud and obnoxious, but she handled us with our own each individual pair. I always admired her strong-willed nature as well, not being afraid of stepping up for a student if some knucklehead had something to say out of line. She would always work hard for her students. Her willingness to change her schedule and overcome conflicts is the reason me and my 2 fellow senior companions were able to take her class this year in the first place. Each member I have created in their classroom was filled with joy and laughter, and I was so happy to be able to experience something like that. I can only hope for, in the future when I go to college, that I am part of something as grand as that. Ms. Merritt is undoubtedly one of the most caring, patient, kind, helpful, charismatic, funniest teachers I have ever had in my whole school career, and I am more than honored to appreciate her in this banquet. Thank you, Ms. Merritt, and I will always cherish the memories that I have made.
Hi everyone. I'd like to start by thanking all the wonderful teachers I've had throughout the years. However, a special thanks goes out to Miss Latier. I'm always going to remember the fun memories we had from both years in robotics. You taught me how to manage my time, which is a skill I used throughout high school and will continue to use throughout college. Thank you, Miss Latier.
Alright. Hi, my name is Jorge Palacios, and the teacher I'd like to honor for the top 10% banquet is Mr. Fu. The reason I'd like to honor him is because he helped me during geometry class in my freshman year. He helped me learn about angles, shapes, how to find angles in a shape, and SOHCAHTOA, sine, cosine, tangent, which really helped me out in pre-calculus and calculus class, because I needed to use this there a lot. He also helped me out during my junior year by showing me how to program in my computer science class, and I learned to make some basic games like rock, paper, scissors, card game. I even made a little story game with Pass, but I don't think I have that anymore, so it's kind of just gone. And which really inspired me to become interested in computers and programming, which I'm planning to go and become a computer engineer or programmer whenever I go to college. And I can thank him for that because he inspired me to do so. And so thank you, Mr. Fu.
The teacher I picked for the banquet is Mrs. Jewett. And if you know me, that's pretty obvious because it is very apparent the impact she's had on me and on my life over these last 2 years. And the lessons she's taught me, that they're not just high school lessons. These are things I can take with me to college and that I know I'm going to think back on throughout the rest of my life. I'm so thankful that I was able to develop that kind of relationship with her and that she really just wanted to help me and wanted to help all the other students. And I'm so thankful for the opportunity to choose her for the top 10% banquet. Thank you, Mrs. Jewett.
I've chosen Mr. Smith as my teacher to honor. I met Mr. Smith over a year ago when he asked me to join his literary criticism team, and I had no idea what literary criticism was, but I'm so glad I joined. I was able to have a class period every day with him this year and last year, where we would go over literary things, and I also just really got to know him as a person. He's such a great guy, very creative and funny. He's hilarious and just so sweet. And all of our success in literary criticism, mine and our teams, it's really all due to him. We never could have gotten as far as we did if it wasn't for his dedication, and he pushed me really just in school and in the event and just in life. He saw my potential and was brutally honest with me about it, and I never was afraid that he was holding back. He he did. He pushed me a lot, and I really appreciate that. Every time we would have conversations about our opinions, I always felt very heard by him, and I felt like he treated me like an adult, and like my opinions matter, and we might not have always agreed, but that's the fun of it, right? And he really listened to what I had to say. I always felt really special because he would always ask me if what we were eating was keto, and make sure that we were taken care of, especially. Even though I have already forgotten what anthropomorphism means, I will never forget what syzygy means, and that's due to you, Smith. So go and unleash hell on your competition next year.
Hi, my name is Sheila Castro, and I will be honoring Miss Faye. I had her my junior year for pre-AP physics. I can remember people telling me, don't take her class, it's going to be super hard. She's probably maybe not the nicest teacher you ever met. But honestly, the first day of school, she was a very sweet and nice person. And as the year went along, her class was one of the easiest I had taken. And me and her just grew closer as friends too. And she was just very sweet and funny. And her sarcastic nature is actually one of the many things my class, at least, loved about her. And it was just an amazing time throughout the year. She's actually one of my favorite teachers I had throughout high school. She encouraged me to take an officer position for the National Honor Society. She believed I had what it took to become an officer, and I'm very thankful for her that she pushed me to do that. I was very sad to hear that she was retiring my senior year, but I still keep in touch with her, and I'm very thankful I had Miss Faye to honor for this. Thank you.
My name is Dylan Cordero, and I chose to honor Miss Samara. In the 7th grade, I took a career investigations class where one investigates their future career. I told you I wanted to be a doctor, and unlike others, you said go for it. Not only did you push me to do well in junior high, you also checked in while I was in high school. Without your continued support and endless recommendation letters, I wouldn't be where I am today. Thank you for challenging me to think further and dream bigger. I'll always remember attending your class. Your positivity and endless encouragement brightened my days.
I enrolled in Mr. McMahon's class at the beginning of sophomore year, and little did I know at the time, that class period would become my favorite throughout my entire high school career. Mr. McMahon always encouraged each and every one of his students to pursue greatness and to achieve their goals throughout every second of their high school career. He pushed me to become a better scientist and mathematician every day, even if I didn't feel like it. His attitude toward life was to seize the day, despite feelings of tiredness or weariness. He was by far the best teacher I have ever encountered. My junior year of high school, I had Mr. McMahon for 3 class periods: UIL mathematics, pre-calculus, and statistics. So you can imagine how much I drove him absolutely crazy. I used to make these images that I called Mr. McMemes, and essentially what they were pictures of Mr. McMahon with some kind of text or underlining meaning beneath them. Mr. McMemes could be about anything regarding Mr. McMahon, usually about the stories he told us, like that one time he punched a horse. Or it could be just something abstract that I made up. In my opinion, Mr. McMahon is the funniest teacher at Kaufman High School. Even when things weren't going his way, he always seemed to have this sense of levity, this sense to make a joke, even when times were rough, and I really looked up to him for that. For a short while, Mr. McMahon didn't have a home for a while he was moving houses, and had to live with in-laws for quite some time. And while Miss Jewett was handing each of us students research papers, and we weren't enjoying life so much, we always told ourselves it could be worse. We could be Mr. McMahon. But despite the hardships he experienced at home, he did his job and he did it exceptionally. He was kind and patient with each and every one of us, and he taught us well. Mr. McMahon has taught me that the results I get in life are directly correlated to the work I put into getting said results. I believe Mr. McMahon has completely changed my trajectory in life and has provided me with lessons I needed before embarking on my adventures in college. He taught me that I never know what someone is going through at home, and that I shouldn't always give people such a hard time. He taught me to lift others up for that exact same reason, to just be kind and patient with others. I don't think Mr. McMahon gets enough credit for what he does at Kaufman High School, which is why I was excited that I got to create this video. I don't know if Mr. McMahon views himself as selfless, but I think he's one of the most selfless teachers here on campus. He has always encouraged and supported each and every one of his students to be the greatest that they can be. And I think that's really something that's worth mentioning. Even when he was under a lot of stress, the kind of stress that a normal man would crack under, he always did his job exceptionally, and he taught each and every one of us to the best of his abilities. I think a lot of the students in KISD would be lost without him. I sure would. I will take more with me to college than Mr. McMahon's lessons of just calculus and statistics. I will also take his life lessons of responsibility, honesty, patience, and kindness. Mr. McMahon has played a large role in the lives of myself and my fellow students, and I don't know where I'd be today without him.
Hi, I'm Amy Walker, and today I will be honoring Coach Williams. So, Coach Williams, I remember being back in your algebra class sophomore year and always having a ton of questions, because I was not very good at algebra. And so I remember I would sit at my desk and answer all the questions I knew how to do, and then I would go sit by your desk and ask you about all the rest of them, which often resulted in you explaining algebra to me for like 10 minutes straight. But it didn't matter because you were always there and you always made sure I understood what I was doing. You weren't satisfied with just telling me the answer. You really made sure that I understood that. I'm so thankful that you were just so kind and wonderful, like always, to us. And I remember sophomore year promising you that when I was a senior, I would pick you as my top 10% teacher. And I'm glad that I get to honor that promise today. So thank you so much for everything that you have done for us.
Hello, my name is Hailey Jewett, and I would like to present my inspirational award to Holly Keneally. Holly Keneally is not just one of those educators who strictly teaches the curriculum. She also provides valuable life lessons that will help each student in his or her future. I know that she will always view all students as her children. Miss Keneally and I immediately grew close because of our love for Harry Potter and for books. Many days after school, if I ever needed a shoulder to lean on or someone with whom I could candidly talk, her door remained open to me. It still does. Not only does she provide an ear to listen, but she gives amazing advice too, even if one does not want to hear it. She treats me like her own child, inspiring me because not everyone acts or cares about others with interest and concern like she does. I strive to emulate her, someone who genuinely cares about others' feelings and provides thoughtful advice. Thus, Miss Keneally represents a deserving candidate for my Inspiration Award, and I thank her for showing her big heart.
I'd like to start this off by saying, please excuse the hair. Obviously, I need a haircut. I'll get one soon, but Coach Stone, you have been the most phenomenal coach that I couldn't have asked for anything better. What you did for me, helped me grow throughout these 5 years, not even just as an athlete, but as a person. You really taught me a lot of things that are going to go a long way in my life. And that's always been your goal. You always said that you want us to leave this program not just as better runners, but better people. And I think with me, you accomplished just that. It really was a blessing and an honor to be able to run for you. I think a lot of our athletes underappreciate you a little bit. They don't realize that just how amazing you really are as a coach, and how much time and effort you do put into what you do. And I'm gonna miss it when going off to college. Of course, I'm going to a great school and everything, but I'm never going to be able to replace you. You're great. You're the best. And thank you for everything.
Hello, I'm Harrison Lauder, and this year I wanted to give my Inspiration Award to Mr. Buchholz. I've known Mr. Buchholz for about 4 years. I was a freshman when he was a first-year teacher here, and I joined in his robotics class, and he's really helped me a lot just kind of grow as a person, and he's also given me hope for a future career in engineering. Mr. B has been a really big inspiration in my life. I'm even going to the college he went to, but when he graduated. And I also, not just Mr. B though, I did also want to honor Mr. Wiley. He's also helped me a lot throughout these past 4 years, and I really felt like I couldn't just choose one teacher for this award. I felt like I needed to at least mention that Mr. Wiley has helped me a lot. But between these two people, I really felt like my high school career has been really successful, and I feel like my future will be even brighter than it would be without those two. So thank you, Mr. B. Thank you, Mr. Wiley. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I hope I can definitely keep in touch with you